Hello, everyone. This is Nicole Felix of Felix Consulting Co. Or Company. Thank you for watching. I wanted to kind of make a quick video for business owners who are here in Massachusetts who are getting ready to go back to work on 5/18, May 18th, which is this upcoming Monday. So I just wanted to make sure to put something out there to make sure that business owners are thinking about what they need to do as we start to reopen. We're going to start seeing more people out and about and going back to work, which is great. I think everyone's kind of tired of being inside, but there are some real things that you'll want to think about before reopening, and there's some questions you'll want to be asking yourself. So, um, what kind of PPE requirements are you going to have for your customers and for your staff? What kind of space does your establishment have? So, do you have the physical space in your establishment to have your staff at the recommended social distance? It's really hard to see these things before we get back into the office and everybody there. But these are things you want to evaluate. How will you control the influx of customers into your storefront, for example? How will you make sure that that social distance is kept? And how will that be done? What's the plan for that? Um, and who will be responsible for holding people accountable, both employees and people coming into your business? Who's going to be in charge of all that? So those are some questions that you can be thinking about as you continue to move towards reopening. And you should probably have answered before you reopen as well. It's really going to be about building consumer confidence, that you respect their safety and their patronage. So that's really important. But it'll be the same for your employees. You need to make sure that they're confident that you respect them and their safety, and that their safety is just as important as your customers. So just like anything else with your employees, training, continuous learning, career pathing, thinking about their safety and how they're going to work and having a plan for them set up is going to show that investment from the business owner in their success and in their safety. So that's really important. Um, I do have some recommendations as well, just kind of a list of things that you can be thinking about that may be really important, that won't only help you today as you're starting to reopen, but it'll help you roll through your reopening and hopefully roll through the rest of the year as well, as we continue to navigate this COVID pandemic and situation and restrictions that we're dealing with now. So write a business plan, write a reopening plan. Who's responsible? Who's involved? What are the rules and regulations? Having this written down and sharing it with your staff, and then meeting safely with your staff before reopening, I think will ensure a smooth operation once you do go ahead and reopen. You need to determine what the plan is for your business, and then hold people accountable for it. And again, that's your employees and your customers coming in. So things like your closing and opening procedures, how will those change? How will the procedures around cleaning your establishment change and keeping it as clean as possible? What will those be? Those are things that really need to be explicitly detailed to your employees. Policies for coming into work sick. How will you handle that? What are some of the things that you need to talk about? Some employees will choose not to come back. How will you handle hiring? Will it be virtual? Will it be in-house? Will there be a probation period? How will that be handled? So those are some things that you can think about and you can include in your reopening plan. This is kind of dovetailing off of that first point, but you need to designate someone who's in charge of holding people accountable. I think we've all seen that we're, as a society, not necessarily on the same page on what PPE we should use, if we should use PPE at all, if COVID's even a thing, right? So it's really important that you, as the business owner or your management team, create a plan and then put someone in charge of holding everyone accountable. You don't want to run into a situation where you're kind of blindsided by someone who doesn't want to comply. So you should maybe have a blurb, something, have discussed it, have someone in charge, and make sure that you're keeping everyone safe, and that you can just, have a civil and reasonable answer for people. It's just helpful. Hopefully during this downtime, business owners have had a chance to take a look at their job descriptions, at their processes, workflow, training materials, etc. If not, now is a great time to do that. You're going to have thousands and millions of people out there looking for jobs in the coming weeks, and it's really important that if you are going to be bringing on new staff, that you put your best foot forward. Your business has the best representation out there, and that you're attracting some of that A-list talent that maybe wasn't available, 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago. People that you really wanted to bring in. How can you attract those people? How can you make sure that bringing them on is going to be as smooth as possible and help you to retain them? So those are some things that you can be thinking about right now, because there's about to be a really huge workforce out there looking for work. And hopefully you can get some of the people that you want. So be thinking about that. Budgeting, forecasting. Obviously, months ago, you had goals and budgets that you were trending towards, and now all of that's changed, and maybe you don't have much control over where it's going or what's happened thus far. Start evaluating where you can go. What is the revenue potential with these restrictions and with the decreased amount of revenue coming in and the slowdown in business? Where are we? Okay, get a good handle on that. And then keep those original goals that you had for the top of 2020 and say, now those are our stretch goals. What are we doing today? What can we drive? And what were our original goals? And maybe you'll see, hey, we're not too far off. We can catch up. Or maybe we won't catch up, but we can definitely drive to 85 or 90% of what we were anticipating at the top of the year before all this happened. So forecasting, tracking, evaluating is going to be super, super important right now, because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't necessarily know where we're going. So keeping a good handle on where you are and where you could go, what some potential is really going to be important. There's going to be some opportunities out there for the creative, for the diligent, and for the lucky. So what are those opportunities, and how can you always be on the lookout for them? So definitely be keeping a track on budgets and forecasts and processes too. Always be looking at those and how those are affecting your bottom line as well. I think it's a great idea right now to be looking at tools that can help you to navigate this social distanced time. So you're going to open back up, but can you have your store full of people? Is there enough room to social distance? Maybe not. If you have a brick and mortar, you want to have ideas on how to control this and make people feel comfortable. Again, we're trying to build confidence with our consumers and with our employees. So I am actually personally working on this really great new project with some developers out of Ireland who, had been working on a platform, and then COVID happened, and they said, okay, how can we pivot and how can we make this work? So they have developed an app called Click and Collection. The whole idea is that a business owner who maybe hasn't done online ordering before can go on, set up an account, and have an online ordering account in under an hour. They can then start driving people to a site that's ready-made and comes along with the account. So the business owner didn't have to pay anyone to build it, and they didn't have to develop it themselves. They can drive people there, add some inventory, obviously, for people to pick, buy. People can place their orders right there, make payments right there as well. And then they're getting a receipt with their order number and a time to show up. So the business owner has the control to say, I only want 5 or 6 people an hour coming in. So every time someone places an order, the app is automatically going to pace them, give them a time to show up. They can come in, get what they need, leave, and then cycle in the next customer there. So it's just really something that's coming out of COVID, but that can be really helpful for places that maybe couldn't open. They've been closed for 2 months and now they want to reopen, but how are they going to control this? This is a great way to get that revenue stream started, but still focus on that confidence, focus on that safety. So I will post a link down below for Click and Collection. You guys can go check it out. There's a lot of videos there to evaluate the value proposition to your company, and hopefully you like it. And I think it's a wonderful idea, and we'll definitely be suggesting it to my clients. especially those in the food and beverage industry. There's a lot of synergy there because you are having people physically coming in, and pacing is something that's really important in that industry as well. So be looking for new tools. Click and collection is a great one, in my opinion. Think of ways to simplify your business. So what we've seen now is that there's been phased approaches to both closing, reopening, understanding what's essential and what's not. Everything's been really phased. So why not take that approach with your business? Can we go in and start with the easiest product lines or services? What is the most needed and the easiest to deliver? Let's start with those first, and then phase in things that are maybe a little bit more complicated, a little bit more that take a little bit more manpower or face time. Simplify. Give yourself the chance to restart. Keep things safe and easy for your customers, but do things in a controlled way. Why not? Take this opportunity to really make sure that things are dialed in and are working properly now that you have the option to be working at a reduced capacity. So how can you simplify? How can you keep things safe and easy for your customers? And then sooner than later, you'll be up and running at full capacity, hopefully, and then everything will be back to normal. But give yourself the opportunity to do it right. So that's a suggestion for me. And then lastly, this is something that is always important in any business, and something that I talk to my clients about all the time, because I do really believe that the most successful businesses are doing this all the time. Planning, thinking of the future. Plan, plan, plan. So if you weren't doing this before COVID, take this as an opportunity to start a new habit. At least quarterly, you should be evaluating your business on a global level: finances, operations, satisfaction internally and externally with customers. What is happening with my business? Are we headed in the right direction? Most successful businesses are doing this. And again, if you weren't doing it before, start now. Because again, we don't know what's going to be happening in the next quarter or in the next 6 months or as we go into 2021. So always understanding where you are as a business is always important, but it's going to be even more important now as things are kind of morphing and changing, and we're looking into what feels like an uncertain future, but I'm sure will be plenty bright as we continue to stabilize and find ways to treat COVID, etc. So always be planning, always be thinking about the future. So overall, that's really it for me. Think about the future, simplify. What are the tools that can help you to keep your business going? Designate people who are in charge of everyone's safety. Have a plan for reopening, and be really explicit with your staff on what that means and how you're going to keep them safe and how they're going to keep your customers safe. Designated. Hopefully, again, this whole COVID thing has given you an opportunity to really be looking at your business and say, okay, how are we going to make this work? What's next? Get excited about the work of running your business, because you're getting, in a few days you'll get to go back, and hopefully you'll be excited and driven with all this beautiful weather to get back to it. But overall, the message from Felix Consulting is always be planning and thinking about the future. It's important. It drives successful business. It's always a good habit to have. So keep developing that. If you would, as a business owner, like to talk to an accredited business consultant, please feel free to reach out to Felix Consulting. Even just a conversation can be really helpful, especially in times like these where you're just trying to stabilize and try to understand what's going on. You can reach us at our website, felixconsultingco.com, on Facebook, on the Felix Consulting Company page. You can reach out to me directly, Nicole Felix, on LinkedIn. But yeah, we're good luck with everything. Get back out there, protect yourself, stay safe for you and your family, your neighbors and your friends in your community. Thank you for watching. And like I said, good luck with everything. Nicole Felix, Felix Consulting. See you guys around.